It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the Second World War changed the destiny of mankind. It was the biggest conflict ever conceived. It was the ultimate clash of ideologies and factions that had been building up over the decades, creating one of the most interesting and pivotal moments in history. The reason I say this is because in the 7 years since the war's end, its influence is still felt, especially in popular media. World War II video games are some of my favorite games of all time. Not only do I like the feeling of taking up arms against the Third Reich, but the stories that some of these games present, like in COD World War II and Band of Brothers, can rival some of the best World War II movies out there. But there is one game that not many know about, and one that I want to bring to the spotlight. It's called Blazing Angel Squadrons of World War II, released in 2008 by Ubisoft for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC. Blazing Angel is a fighter pilot game made by them, and it was their first endeavor on the 7th generation of gaming. And despite some hiccups in the version I'm playing, this is a very good fighter pilot game. As soon as I finished the Among Us review, I decided to record some footage to start early. What was supposed to be a 1-hour recording session turned into 4 hours. I couldn't put the game down. Once I got past a particular mission, it really started to pick up and it had me fully engaged. Here, I'll show you. After creating a profile, the only thing to do first is the campaign. The story follows a group of American fighter pilots named the Blazing Angels as they tackle the Axis powers in some of the biggest air battles from the Second World War. Battles like the Battle of Britain, the surprise attack at Pearl Harbor, and the Battle of Midway. The presentation is spot on. This game looks pretty damn good. To our 8th generation eyes, it looks very bad. But for the time this game was released, they were considered to be top notch. Everything from the lighting, the smoke, explosions, gunfire, and the detail on the planes come together to make a very immersive experience. It makes you feel like you're actually taking part of some of these iconic battles. And as you can imagine, the fast-paced gameplay only makes it better as it allows players to pull off cool set pieces with style. The controls are very responsive and makes it feel like you're controlling a plane. The left stick of course moves you. The left trigger locks onto the nearest enemy, and the right trigger, when toggled, switches between your weapons. The right stick also allows you to speed up and slow down, drawing parallels with a playing stick in real life, which is a good thing considering the fact that some of the shots in the game have to be made with pinpoint accuracy. One of the most important parts of the controls is the D-pad. Like I mentioned earlier, you're part of a squadron comprising of 4 members: Tom, Frank, Joe, and yourself, the captain. Not only do they have their own personalities and abilities, but they also scream out random banter during the fight alongside their Axis counterparts. The problem with this is the fact that they do it all the time, and sometimes they have lines that stick.
Let's go save the kid's butt. He's making a run for it. Help! Joe, what the hell are you doing up here?
Never mind that. Where did all them Germans come from?
Germany?
That ain't funny. I need some help here.
And other times they just say stupid stuff that just make you wish that they could just shut the fuck up so you can concentrate.
Look, now they are sending Americans.
Can you shut the fuck up?
However, eventually I did get used to it, so I guess, it's not really that big of a deal. And you also have the option to turn them off in the options menu. As squadron leader, you have to give out commands. The top button has 3 settings. When the planes are white, it means that they stay in formation behind you. When they're blue, they stay behind you and also fend off attackers. And when they turn red, they break off to engage enemy fighters. Sometimes while engaging fighters, one will be on your tail, and to shake them off you press the right button and Frank will come and take care of it. The bottom button is for Tom and his taunt ability. Lastly, there is Joe, who is the most useful. When fighting, sooner or later you'll take a couple of bullets, to the point where your plane catches on fire. After pressing the left button, Joe will give a short diagnosis, and after completing a quick minigame, the plane is restored to full health, allowing you to continue the fight. All these things are something to keep in mind going forward, because as the war drags on, the objectives get trickier and trickier, and the AI gets more aggressive. There are about 18 levels in the main campaign, and most of them consist of you shooting land, sea, and aerial targets, using multiple weapons and planes. The main weapon is the machine guns. The sub-weapon will either be droppable bombs, missiles, or torpedoes, which the game will get you depending on which plane you're flying and your current objective. If you fail any time during the mission, you will restart at the last checkpoint, and after the mission is complete, it tells you how many units you destroyed, how fast you completed the mission, and your rank alongside some rewards. Depending on how well you do, not only do you get a military badge to add to a collection, but you also unlock other stuff for more rewards. After beating the main story, a mini-campaign unlock which is separated into two modes, bombing and dogfighting, which tasks the player to complete set actions under a time limit, taking levels from the story but this time putting the player in the shoes of the Axis. Next is arcade mode, where you shoot down as many targets as you can in a time frame. That's it. Then lastly there is Ace Duel, where you have to go toe to toe with another pilot to gain a reward. In fact, every mode in this game has very good incentives when done efficiently. For example, after beating a story mode mission, you gain access to new planes which are stored in your garage and can be upgraded after performing well in the other modes. You can even use the upgraded plane of your choice to do even better next time around to gain even more, increasing replayability.
That one's going under.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to adjust something that keeps getting the game from being one of the greats. So I was planning to play the 360 port of this game, but since Amazon and GameStop hate me, I decided to settle for the PC version. And I have to say, I'm pretty mixed about my experience. Although my journey through the game was an amazing one, despite these setbacks, I do have to mention it as a warning. The PC port is missing some aspects that are present in the console counterparts, like music and cutscenes. I don't understand why they were not implemented into the game. They would have worked fine, and judging from the videos I've seen on YouTube, the cutscenes and the music are very good. It reminds me of World at War, but maybe my copy is broken. Who knows? Whatever the case, these flaws were not enough to stop me from playing this game. I had a blast, no pun intended. This game, while largely forgotten, is a diamond in the rough. Everything comes together to create a neat World War II fighting experience like no other game. This was the best game for Ubisoft to start off the next generation with, and it was so successful that it spawned a sequel, but that's for another time, comrades.
Maybe they do have angels flying with them after all.
Nah, but we just might fly like them.